All right. Welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. This is episode number 54. I'm joined as always by Heather, so welcome to the show.
Hello.
And today we're going to kick things off with a special announcement. So
Yes,
if you want
it is.
to,
It is our super fan Brad's birthday, and we want to wish him a very happy birthday. And we have a little something that we'd like to share.
we do indeed. So I will kick things off. Ready? 2, 3, 4. If you want to destroy my sweater, pull this thread while I walk away. Oops, sorry. Wrong song. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Brad.
Brad. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
you.
you. Yay!
Yay! Happy
And
birthday,
then
Brad.
many more, many more.
Yes, many, many more. Put the guitar down. All right. So now we can begin the show proper after
Yes.
we paid our respects to Brad, super fan number 1. Thank you, Brad, for watching. Hope you have a happy birthday. And today, for episode number 54, we are going to discuss the band Goatriders, as well as Dunwich Dreams and Purple Kong. So, Goatriders, I thought I had written down where they were from, but I have forgotten. Do you happen to remember off the top of your head?
Sweden.
Yes, of
I don't
course.
remember. I don't know the town, but it's Sweden.
Right. I wanted to say Sweden, and yet I forgot to write the notes down. So, but yeah, Goatriders. I don't remember how since today was my turn to suggest the band, I don't remember where I had discovered Goatriders, but we had written them on the calendar as a band to talk about. So it was it was nice to revisit them and kind of get reacquainted with their music. So kicking things off with their album The Magician's Keep, and the first track I believe is pronounced either Amitdium or Amitadium. So what were your thoughts?
um, I really like the opening and the mood that it sets. The guitar about halfway through the song is
Excuse me, sorry.
bless you.
Thank you.
The guitar about halfway through the song is so awesome and psychedelic. It literally made me smile when I heard it. I looked up the meaning of the song, and it's the opposite of carpe diem. Um, it means letting the opportunity slip by. The meaning of the song, the lyrics, the music, I thought all were just beautiful.
Yeah, I also looked it up myself, and as you mentioned, it means letting an opportunity slip by, as opposed to carpe diem, which means seize the day. Um, this one, I felt it was a very subtle, bluesy, almost ballad. It reminded me of the electric version of a song by the band Love called Signed DC, which is one of my favorite tracks from them. And then as the song continued to progress, I was like waiting for the dam to burst. You know, it was similar to Milton Berle, kind of like I could sense that there was something sort of, they were just revealing enough of the intensity. And then the dam does burst, but it doesn't clobber you over the head. I feel like there are a lot of bands that when they kick in the distortion or the song breaks down, that they clobber you over the head with intensity. This one was much more nuanced. Um, and it adds an element of a psychedelic atmosphere with the effects of the guitar solo. So I thought it was a great way to kick things off. And then the following track was called Hound of the Gods.
Yeah, and this I thought it had lots of fuzz and it was quite bluesy. The vocals on this are completely different, much higher, lots more up tempo. It kind of has a classic 70s vibe to it. Kind of got a hit of nostalgia listening to it. I like at the end it turns into this total jam. It's really cool how much variety is on this album.
Yeah, this one I got kind of a White Stripes Led Zeppelin guitar heavy feel to it, like a guitar heavy blues feel to it. Um, it was sort of like the extension. You could put this on a timeline. You know, if you trace the blues back to like the days of Robert Johnson and stuff, and Muddy Waters, and then through to bands like Zeppelin, that Hound of the Gods would be on that timeline. And then there's a nice progressive element to it where there's a tempo change and a breakdown in the song. So I really enjoyed, because a lot of times uh, we listen to bands that you can tell are sort of blues infused or blues oriented, but these guys do it really well. So that was nice. And then the next track, the last track off the first album, Magician's Keep, was called Songs from Mars.
Yeah, and I love when bands reference their name in songs. And in this song, the Goatriders are riding the stars. I also love songs about space, the cosmos, those cosmic vibes, the space rock and psychedelic elements. With space and your imagination, anything is possible.
Definitely. Yeah, Songs from Mars, this was another subtle bluesy, almost ballad. It reminded me of some of the songs from the band Earth, um, specifically off their album The Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull, which I really enjoyed. And then it kicks up and it becomes a psychedelic journey through the cosmos. I also referenced the cosmos. So that could be an example of synchronicity that we were both reminded of the cosmos. And then it also reminded me of the opening for the podcast Analyze Fish, in which Harris Whittles, the comedian, would try to get Scott Aukerman, another comedian, to listen to the band Fish. He would say, "I'm Harris Whittles, and I'm your tour guide through the cosmos. Sorry." And then that became the catchphrase that he would open every show: "Tour guide through the cosmos, sorry." So I feel like with this was a song that would be the soundtrack through my journey through the cosmos. But another really well done combination of psychedelic elements, blues, all the building blocks that you would want in a dynamite jam. So
I
that's going
agree.
to do it for Magician's Keep. And next up we have Traveler, and the first track is Goathead Nebula.
And I looked up Goathead Nebula because I was curious. And there's a witch head nebula and a horse head nebula. And I also saw a fish head nebula, but I never found any goat head nebula. I really like the goats and space themes though, and the creativity is just so great. The energy of this song and the space goat is what grabbed me.
Gotcha. Yeah, this one had, I felt like this had more of a 70s era mountain Sir Lord Baltimore type of riffing that you would get, that kind of, it's still a little bluesy, but it's much more on the heavy rock retro kind of sound. This one was very much up tempo. A lot of their previous songs were a little bit more subtle and nuanced with a slower tempo. This one I felt like they put the pedal to the metal, so to speak. So it was a nice change. And then next up was the song Unscathed.
Yeah, I really like the lyrics in this song, and he sings, "If you could, then you should leave this world unscathed." It talks about doing no harm, traveling inward building your soul up, letting go, breaking cycles, having respect, being true, being free. If you could, then you should leave this world. And that's the last line of the song.
Yeah, this one was probably my favorite of the songs we've listened to. I really liked how it opened with just drums and bass, and it sort of set the stage. I felt like I write a crime fiction series about two characters named McGill and Gropper, and I felt like this song, if that became a TV show or a film, that this song could be the theme song for the McGill Gropper series. It had an element of like two private investigators, a show about two private investigators from like the 70s. Um, it also reminded me of a song called Bayou from the band Fugazi. I really love the way the chorus was constructed. Uh, and then there's a less distorted bridge to the song, and then the distortion kicks back in as it finishes. But yeah, Unscathed, probably my favorite of the tracks we've listened to. And then next up was Elephant Bird.
Yeah, I really liked the drum beat. It reminded me of horses galloping. It goes throughout the entire song, that incredible drum beat. The song is instrumental and it pulled me in. I felt like I was traveling through time. That beat, the beat, I thought was quite hypnotic. I wish I could play little pieces so you could know what I'm talking about and see what I mean. But you can always listen to the song on our playlist that we're going to have along with this episode.
Yeah, I usually remind you way too late, and by you I mean the person or people watching right now, to check out the playlist that Heather has put together, and you can hear these tracks before we talk about them. But yeah, Elephant Bird opens with more bass riffing that I really dug. Um, I felt like this is a song I would blast from an automobile while I was cruising with the top down, sort of like the beginning of the film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro are riding through the desert. Um, in this situation, Heather, you would have to be driving because I don't have a license. So I pictured the two of us driving through the desert while this song was blasting, and it's great because I don't think there are any lyrics. I couldn't hear any. Um, I felt like it was the perfect jam for like a desert ride, just like through Death Valley, top down, cranking this jam like while you're going however, 60, 75 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, whatever. Not anything more than 80 because that would make me feel uncomfortable. And this song is more about like just comfort and cruising. And then we've got the final track, The Garden.
Yeah, I kind of like it when the bass opens the song and then the guitar and drums come in. I like how the intensity builds with the chorus. I like the way the guitar sounds in this song too. There's no formula that they follow. The music feels light and free. Their songs all sound different and unique. I saw that this album was recorded in a live setting, and they say on their Bandcamp page to play it loud, which we always encourage that.
Yes. If your knob doesn't go to 11, you should break it off at 10. Um, yeah, I wrote another great bass opening. I really enjoyed how they would sort of lead into the song with the bass. Um, but it doesn't, again, it's not like a band like Primus where the music is like sculpted around the bass. It just sort of is the introduction. And then they returned back to a psychedelic atmosphere. It reminded me a lot of the band Dead Meadow, who I enjoy being able to kind of set the scene with a psychedelic type thing. And again, I've never done hallucinogens, but I feel like listening to songs from this band is the sonic equivalent. So check out Goatriders. They're doing some great stuff in a bluesy kind of stoner retro way. Um, and then next up, we have singles from either Dunwich Dreams or Purple Kong. Who would you care to?
How about Dunwich Dreams?
Okay, Dunwich Dreams from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the track is
Uh,
called A Darkness Hungers.
the song has a unique mixture of electronic, industrial, and metal. There's a lot of different elements within the song. The vocals are forward and prominent. If you're a fan of more extreme metal like black metal, death metal, heavy industrial, I think this would definitely be in your wheelhouse. And since this is a single from their upcoming album, I put another one of their songs called The Black Wings of War on our YouTube playlist so you can get an idea of what they sound like.
Yeah, the album I think will be released in March of 23. And this is a single off of that album, A Darkness Hungers. I said it was like a countdown for a blast off, and then all of a sudden you're in industrial metal meets psychedelic. I felt like that was a unique comment. I hadn't really heard that before, like industrial with a psychedelic element to it. And then the lyrics are almost kind of spoken word but growled vocals, which I thought was also unique. It reminded me of the trip they take in Willy Wonka when they're on the boat. I felt like this song could be playing during that boat ride, and it would match up perfectly with the visuals. So definitely, if you're into psychedelic, industrial, like Heather mentioned, something on the heavier, more extreme side, then definitely check out Dunwich Dreams. Uh, and then finally, we've got Purple Kong from London, and the single's called Cocaine Pentagram.
Yeah. You know, in the 80s, when vocalists were so unique, you could tell who the band was as soon as as soon as you heard the first few words. This reminds me of that. And when he says, listen, it so reminds me of the glory days of the 80s metal bands that were out. And it was just like that time, it was so prominent. And all the singers, they just all had this unique voice and this unique thing about them. In the MTV era, I liked the energy of the song, and I thought the guitars were awesome. They have a video on 666 Mr. Doom's channel, and I put it on our playlist. It looks like their full album is coming out in December. I didn't get the date though, maybe the end of December. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing the rest of it because I really like this song a lot.
Yeah, this is another band. So Dunwich Dreams reached out to us to listen to their music. Purple Kong, I think I just found the name of the band one day and was like, well, I clearly need to listen to them and add them with a name like Purple Kong. And then Cocaine Pentagram is a bluesy rock jam that becomes a little psychedelic and spacey, but it retains its bluesy stoner rock. And then in terms of the cocaine and pentagram, I was like, well, those are clearly two things that go together, like peanut butter and jelly, or as Smokey says in Friday, ham and burger. So there we go. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm excited. I didn't know that the album was coming out in December. So that'll be awesome because I feel like this just whetted my appetite. And now I can indulge myself in more Purple Kong, which, yeah, that sounds a little strange. I'm indulging myself in Purple Kong, but I shall be.
It sounds like a marijuana strain.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to get that Purple Kong.
Yeah, you want to hit that Purple Kong? Yeah, so I look forward to hitting more Purple Kong, more Dunwich Dreams, and more Goatriders as a part of a balanced breakfast of
Yes.
metal jams. And yeah, and of course, happy birthday again, Brad.
Yes, happy birthday, Brad.
Thank you for being Superfan numero uno. um, and watching. And if you're out there and you watch our videos, feel free to let us know so that we can thank you as well,
Yeah.
because that's what we're all about.
Yes.
So we hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you again, Heather, as always.
Yes, and thank you.
My pleasure. And we will be back. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus. This is the busy time of year. So we're going to be back at the end of December with episode 55. But
Yeah.
rest assured, we will be back. And
Well, yeah.
enjoy the holidays. Heather and I wish you all the best. And we will look forward to bringing you more jams in the future.
Yes. Thank you.